the pleasure of introducing probably one of my favorite people, somebody I definitely look up to, somebody I love seeing interact with everybody else. Listening to the man speak it's phenomenal. Like I said earlier, like you just shit passion. So here is Shane Hazel.
Put down my beer. I can write a few things down. Can I wander? Is that all right?
Do it, wander.
Say what?
With the other mic.
With the other mic.
If you don't mind.
You got it. Break stuff all the time by forcing things. Try not to do that. You guys got me?
Yeah.
Loud and clear?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming down. This is, I mean, to speak before the Libertarian Convention, this is a moment of pride in my life. So thank you guys, I appreciate it. Angela has asked us to keep this centric in terms of running and understanding campaign, so, oh, Jesus.
Hey, we're here now. Is there a panel yet, or are you still?
Oh, I just got up there.
Oh, hi everybody.
It's Spike Cohen.
It's literally Spike Cohen.
It's literally Spike Cohen. We're doing the panel now?
Not right now, no.
That guy, always trying to get through the kid. But we were asked to come in here and relay some of our, I don't know, experience by Angela about running for office. And I thought, man, are you high? Maybe, I don't care, that's all, it's your business, right? Like, I actually encourage that kind of stuff. But that's gonna kind of be the theme of my little discussion today is high, right? Like, let's get high. Yeah. When you make that decision to run for office, what I have found is being highly studied is not the problem that the Libertarian Party candidates have. Yes. Are there younger ears in here? You can close your eyes. So I'm going to take a quick poll. Close your eyes. Do you guys want this to be PG-13 or R? R. Is anybody going to be offended if I do an R?
If you're gonna do a Shane Hazel.
Let's do this. All right. You guys are the most fucking autistic people on earth. And I love the shit out of you. You guys make business day. I mean, if I wasn't sitting next to Pete, I would have fucking died. Like, I can't do that kind of stuff, but some people can. Right? That's okay. You guys will never be the dumbest person in the room. You're probably going to be the smartest person in the room because you're so well read and so well studied and you're consistent in your principles. Okay? So we need to get past being the smartest people in the room and we've got to start to engage people, right? Talking about policies at the micro level, when you get down into the weeds, makes people like me, who don't have the degree of autism that some other people do, oh shit. Oh, I don't understand the fucking thing they're talking about. And I'm going to get the blue screen of death because I'm a crayon eater. I'm a knuckle dragger. I am simple. Like most people are simple. They got an IQ of probably around 100 to 120, right? So when we're talking about attention span, you're talking about bites, you're talking about little bits, you're talking about high ideas, and that's where we win. That's where I have found huge progress in terms of getting in front of crowds instead of getting into the minutia. We know you know it. We know you know Austrian economics. We know you know freedom. We know like all the way down to your policies for trash collection and your county. We know you know this stuff. We are not playing their fucking game. That's right. Stop trying to be Republicans and Democrats. Stop trying to bore the people to death with what we think in terms of liberty. What we should be talking about is getting rid of those things. Not adjusting them, not tweaking them, not being a part of them, getting them out of our goddamn lives. Yes. Right? This is where I think talking about high-level ideas is where I have found great, just absolute phenomenal strides and striking people and getting that first seed in the brain. So as you walk away, right there going, oh shit, I'm gonna have to go read a book. I'm gonna go out, who's this Rothbard guy? I'm gonna get into some Austrian economics, maybe I'm gonna learn some crypto, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, there's so much here, right? And you give people something to pursue, something to delve into, to exercise your brain, to start questioning. And that makes somebody think for themselves for the first time and introduces them to liberty. Let's talk about high engagement. Nobody is going to cover your campaign. Nobody. I don't care if it's AJC, I don't care if it's WSB, I don't care if you bring an extra $200 million into a state without spending a penny. These bastards don't like you. The game is rigged, they know it's rigged, they take a paycheck, and they do what they're told. Papers aren't going to cover you, you're not going to get in polls, you're not going to get in debates, you have to control your own narrative, okay? That's why I started a podcast. Is there something that I'd rather be doing twice a week? Maybe. Is it cathartic for me? Does it work for me? Yes. Find a way. I don't care if you're the spoken word, or if you're the written word, or if you have some kind of telepathy where you can reach people. I don't care. Community outreach, giving, charity, the libertarian way. We have to be where we fit, where we think we can be. This is an entrepreneur's game, and most people in America aren't entrepreneurs. Most people have been pushed through the COG system from the age 5 to 18 if they went on to higher indoctrination, right? For bachelor's, associates, masters, doctorates. They got indoctrinated all the way up to that point, and then some. We have to start empowering people that want to help us. And the way you do that is say, hey, I don't know, what's your skill set? What can you do? What do you want to do? What do you do on a regular basis? How can you help me? The answer is yes. You want to help? Great. Go do something. I don't care what you do. You liberty differently than I liberty, right? That's okay. That's another thing in this party that we have to make high on our priority. I know as we grow as a party, there's going to be divisiveness. I already see it. I hate it. I can't stand it. It is a psyop. It is something that we do in special operations around the world, and I see it here. We cannot let that happen. We have to be able to sit here and say, listen, just because Ted does liberty in that way doesn't mean it's wrong, right? Is he planting a seed in an audience that I'm not reaching, in a person I'm not reaching, in an individual that's never heard this before? Great. Keep going. Keep doing this. That's what we have to have. We have to be those people that go, yeah, you know what? Maybe not my kind of liberty. My message, damn it, he's doing something. If we had more libertarians doing something rather than Twitter, we'd be in a totally different game right now, wouldn't we? All right, so that's high engagement. Know your audience as well in this high engagement. If you know your audience and you know what they're into, what their shtick is, right? You can address that, you can tailor it. Obviously, I wouldn't go into an elementary school and start talking like this, right? Tailor your message for your crowd, right? Like, this is just the way it works. It's not pandering. People, oh, you can pander to this crowd, you can talk this way to this crowd, and you can go here. Well, yeah, man, those guys over there, they're not interested in ending the drug war. And these guys over here aren't interested in criminal justice reform. And those people over there aren't interested in Austrian economics. Know your crowd, know your audience. All right, this is a hard thing for a lot of people. Be highly likable. Highly likable. This is not as hard as a lot of people think it is. And you know what? Some neocon told me back in the day, you got a great smile, use it. If you're talking to people, smile, have fun, right? Dr. Paul, one of the great libertarians out there, was like, if you're not having fun, get out of the game. If you're not having fun, you can't smile, and you can't talk to people with a legitimate glee inside of you that's bursting to get out about what liberty is, yeah, maybe go do something else, right? Maybe put it into the written word. I don't know. But you gotta be highly likable. that also means putting your best foot forward, right? I talk a lot about Martin Luther King in terms of the light and love. Gotta give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? People are human beings. All of us are fallible. So if we sit there and we put our best foot forward, even though we disagree with somebody, man, that shows, right? Like, you have a willingness to accept people, to work with people, to grow people, to lift people. That's a hell of it. I mean, when we look at people who are highly successful, that's what we find. We find people that will give people the benefit of the doubt, sometimes even when they know, absolutely for a fact, that their intentions were malicious, right? If you can be that person that can rectify that through light and love, you are miles and miles and miles ahead towards being likable. This is something that you're going to have to do in the back of your mind as you're growing and addressing and talking to people. You're going to have to be highly adaptive and look for opportunities. Not like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and the rest of those jackasses up there on Capitol Hill. When I say opportunistic, what do you see today? What is going on in the news cycle right now where you can either talk about it, where you can introduce an idea, what's going on in your personal life, what's going on in people's lives around you? How are you going to take liberty and just like slip it in? There you go. Keep going. What do we have here? Oh man, rights. I get to keep my money. I don't have to be molested by the state. I don't have to worry about somebody kicking in my door. Man, I like what that guy did. It's opportunistic, right? It's taking a moment and being cognizant of that moment in history and saying, this person matters, right? If you can relate that you think that this person matters, they think that they matter. Everybody matters in this movement. Anybody and everybody that we can pull in because, yeah, I'm in with that. Is that common ground? It might be the only damn thing we agree on. They're in the movement. And you can work with somebody who's got a foot in the door. Make others high. I see it. I love it. What's that? First one's free. I never met that guy. The first one's free. Make others high. As you grow a movement and grow inside of the movement, it is also your responsibility to lift, right? Once you are upheld and you are making something happen, it is your responsibility to lift others. So if you are in some sort of leadership position, I don't care if it's a county, city, state, whatever, lift others up. Find them. Find out, maybe somebody's struggling. Maybe they're just starting out. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's here in Georgia. I don't care if it's around the world. Find them, lift them. Pull somebody up. Can you get them? Like, I've got a case going on right now where I'm going to try to get some money and get some equipment, maybe that I'm not even using. And I'm going to send it to another guy who is getting into podcasting. Because I see it, right? I see this energy. I see this passion. I see this want to go out there and change the world. Lift others up. Make them high. And last point I wrote down last night, control your messaging. I ran this last game by myself. It was a completely different type of campaign that I ran as a GOP Liberty guy back in 2018. And I was told, you gotta do this, you can't do that. You gotta do this, you can't do that. Never, ever, 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 ever cuss in front of an audience. Okay. That wasn't me. You have to believe in people. And I mean, believe. Show yourself. You're a human being. We all have struggles, right? Tell your story. Be vulnerable. Show where you've come from. If you were a neocon that found, libertarianism in Iraq, it's bad for you guys who don't speak military. Well, reading John Taylor Gatto, and you're like, oh shit. The state was here and put forth an indoctrination system so that when it was time to go and spend blood and treasure, that they could just have little young men and women run off and fight these wars for them. Yeah, tell that story. Tell that story how you were duped because most people are most afraid of telling people that they were scammed, that they were duped, that they were indoctrinated, that they were somebody's fool. Believe in the people. Show them your humanity. Lead with your humanity. Be the light and love. And lastly with that, in terms of controlling the message, this whole time I've said hi. Right? What I should be saying is elevate. Elevate anybody in every circumstances you can. If you can elevate your game, your adaptivity, your likableness, your communications, your message, and the people around you, they're going to lift you too. And we all, at that point, when we start exploring our passion and creating genius and specificity in what we're doing for liberty, man, we raise everybody. And that is how the human condition starts to better itself, and we start lifting everybody else out of the muck and mire. Thank you. That's the end of my remarks. And I don't know if I filled 15 minutes or whatever time you need. Questions? Questions?
Yeah, Shane, what are you doing next? I'm going to say,
I'm going to have a beer later. I'm going to elevate my mind.
I'm talking about 2022.
2022, you know what? I am going to seek the governor nomination. I also started the Helios Initiative. For everybody that doesn't understand or hasn't heard of it yet, I just launched it last week. The Helios Initiative is going to be a center that I hope to at least lead. Even if I don't get the nomination, I will be supporting this initiative. And what we're going to do is we're going to take every liberty or libertarian governor in the nation for the Libertarian Party. We are going to start talking about how we don't need DC, what we can do and how we can agree to work with each other without these guys while repelling them as governors. We are not, and I need to make this extremely clear, we are not playing by the same rules. We are not going to play by their rules. We are not going to play by their constructs. We are not going to do what they think that we need to do to win. We are going to redefine and break everything that the system has told us we can and can't do. And Helios is going to bring all those guys together as executives to start talking about nullification, to start talking about, clemency, getting people out of jail that are nonviolent offenders, to absolutely push all the bureaucratic officers out of our states and start protecting our citizens and giving them the freedom, making sure that they have the freedom to go out and earn a living, to put shoes on their kids' feet and clothes on their back and food on the table. That's all we're talking about. This is a crazy idea, maybe, but yeah, that's what I'm going to be concentrating in the next, year and some change.
Our process hasn't worked yet, so a new process can't hurt. Libertarianism is freedom for each person, and each person's definition of freedom, and it starts with the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. And that's what people need to understand. What are they? What do they say? They say that the government can't get in our way.
And it didn't work. So now what we've got to do is redefine that on our own terms as a new nation of new people now. The cool thing is we have an opportunity to do it without firing a shot. We also have an opportunity to do this for everybody. And I think that's what a lot of people miss in the United States is, the whole MAGA crown, make America great again. For who? Who was it great for? A lot of us miss that growing up.
All men are created equal.
If we were to actually been the Declaration of Independence and not just the Constitution, right? Law, where we were really free and it was everybody, right? We wouldn't be here. We would be in a totally different situation. This is our opportunity to do that for posterity, for generations to come, right? It's not, oh, you can keep your republic. That was a coup anyway. right?
Jefferson was a man of 76 and not of 87.
Yes, he was. Any other questions before you got one more? Or is it?
If they want to do one more, hand it up.
Okay, I hate to make this point because I'm with the Mises Caucus and all that stuff, but like, so the difference between Purdue and Ossoff was not going to be that big of a difference to us, but coming to the governor race and with the lockdowns that just happened, Stacey Abrams scares me a lot. In a way that like Brian Kemp doesn't. Like, is there any fear there, or can you, like, I don't, like, it could be a very big difference between when the next time they try to do this crap again. Stacey Abrams is gonna, if she wins, she's like a Gretchen Whitmer type person. Or, like, I don't know. Is that a concern, or can you assuage my fears on that one?
But let me, and maybe give me a little breath here, because my background is not what most people's is, right? A long time ago, I was kicking in doors in Fallujah, you know, the first guy in, and so my understanding of fear is maybe a little bit different.
Fair.
What I see in terms of this race with possibly Kemp, right? I know in the back right now, off stage, the Republican Party is scared to death. They are trying to find somebody to primary Brian Kemp because they know Brian Kemp can't win. And I will tell you from my personal inbox that Brian Kemp will never be voted for by a ton of Republicans in Georgia again. Does that possibly send the Libertarian candidate to the runoff with Stacey Abrams, who is back with millions and millions and millions of dollars? And Bilderberg does. But a lot of times their greatest strengths are also their biggest weaknesses. How do we start to frame who Stacey Abrams is now? Stacey Abrams was an invite to the night of 2018, 2017, somewhere in there. Forgive me for not knowing the dates. She was an invite to the Bilderberg conference over in Europe, and we know who those people are, right? We know right now who those people are. Those people have an idea and will implement that idea through billions and billions of dollars, force and coercion, to make sure the world looks and acts like they want it to, so that they can stay extremely rich. How in hell, Stacey Abrams, did you get over there? They got plans for you. We can exploit the fact that Bilderberg has plans for Stacey Abrams, who have notoriously prosecuted and killed through democide their own people over centuries. 270 million people in the 20th century alone. They were against gays, they were against people of color, they were against transgender, they were against your rights to self-preservation, property, everything else. That's who you're palling around with, Stacey Abrams. This is who you are, this is who you're being proposed as the Georgia Democratic Party. You're out of your damn mind. These are billionaires with a B. They don't give a damn about you and your position on this earth. I think if we can make that case, we'll be all right. But here's the other thing, and I'm working on this in the background also with Brian Greer. I'm done with ballot access debate, and we're putting together an open letter from libertarians, or maybe we'll just own it and call it us. But we're no longer going to accept the authority of Georgia officers of any sort if we don't have full access, and that means for everybody, not just libertarians. If they're taking money from you at the point of a gun, we're not going to recognize any authority that you have if we're not allowed ballot access, period. And now, if you come after our people, sorry, these are acts of war. I don't say that lightly. I don't want to go back to war. I don't want to get shot at again. I don't want to get blown up. I don't want to do any of the stuff that I've done in the past. The cost is too great. but this is where we're at. It's time. It's time to stop talking the way they talk. It's time to stop being politically correct, and it's time to draw the line in the sand. We're begging them for peace. And I don't know, if death is one of those things that is, more, I guess, that's scarier than slavery, well, I guess that's for each individual to make their own choice. But I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty sure you guys know where I'm at.
Freedom, liberty must be watered from time to time with the blood of tyrants and
Maybe. Hopefully not. I think there's ways around it. I talk about them all the time, but I'm going to save that for another day. I've gone long. I appreciate your attention, and I appreciate the warm, hospitable nature of the Libertarians. You guys are amazing. I love you. I appreciate everything. If you've got any questions, I'll be around.